a straight line graph is a graph that increases with time. That's, for instance, assuming this is x-axis and this is y-axis. So the straight line graph here is only when the line increases with y and x. For example, let's say when x is 2, y is, let's say, 2.5. And when x is 3, then y is, let's say, 3. So that means, let me assume this place is my 2.5 for y. Let's assume this is my 2.5 for y. And I now say when x is 2, this is 2. This is 2 for x. Then I'll trace it to y. So let me say for y is somewhere here, isn't it? Okay. And I said when x is 3 and y is also 3. Okay, let's say when x is 3, this is for x, this is x-axis, and also y is 3. This is y-axis. So they are meeting at this point. Then also, let me say when x is 1, y is 1.2. Okay, let's say 1.5. When x is 1 and y is 1.5. Let's say 1.5 is in between somewhere here. And they say when x is 1, y is 1.5. So they will meet here. This is 1.5 for y. And 1, when x is 1, y is 1.5. So the straight line graph in the essence is, let's say it will come this way. This is an example of a straight line graph. It increases, x increases with y, isn't it? It's going on straight. I'm not using ruler, that's why it's like this. But this is just an example of a straight line graph. Let me just say a straight line graph, a straight line graph increases with x as y also increases, as y increases also. And at the same thing also, you can also say as x decreases, y decreases. As value of x is coming down, value of y is also coming down. So the main thing is, as long as when you plot your graph, it's on a straight line. So that's what they mean by straight line graph. Straight line graph is as s increases, also y increases, so that your graph can look straight. Then if we now say gradient of a line, I can pick any point for my gradient. I can pick this point as my first gradient, this point, and I can also pick this point also as my second gradient. So if I'm to bring this, I'll say my gradient will be like this. So this is my gradient. So my gradient will be gradient is equal to increase in y over increase in x, or decrease in y over decrease in x. That's increase in y over increase in x. Increase in x. Or decrease in y over decrease in s. Decrease in x. So after you have go through this, so for my increase in y, I can say y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So my gradient for this graph I plot, this is my y1. My y1 is 1.5 and my y2 is 3. So since my y2 is 3, I'll say 3 minus 1.5 over, what is my x2? My x2 is also 3. That's tracing it up to my graph now. My x2 is 3 and my x1 is 1. From here is x1, x2, so my x2 is 3 and my x1 is 1. So it will now be 3 minus 1. Since this is my x2 minus x1. So I'll have my x2 is 3, right? Minus 1. So my gradient will now be 3 minus 1.5 is 1.5 over 3 minus 1 is 2. So I'll now say 1.5 divided by 2 will give me my answer. So I would like you